the rest of the organizers for allowing me to make this presentation. Basically, I'm going to talk. If you have seen some of my presentations in the last, I don't know, like in the last 3 years, you can get out of the room basically. See? And I have had some new results coming from manga on top of the things that we have found in Khalifa. Just for the fun of presenting something new. So just for comparison, we have here some data products extracted from Khalifa, from this galaxy, that we have in common with the key manga. This is not a manga really, so there are many issues on the data that were solved later in the final manga products. But just for making a comparison, this is the kind of information you can extract from IFU data. So you have the line distribution, the age, the university weight age, the kinematic, the gas, this is the gas for the stellar kinematic. And here we have a pure gas cube, one you have subtracted the underlying stellar population, where we can see the clumpy structure associated with H2 regions. This is H alpha, and this is nitrogen on top, so that's wavelength. And this is the same distribution that you find for manga from the same galaxy. This galaxy was not part of the manga sample, so therefore it's only sampled the central part, so there's no total comparison, but this is one of the galaxies we have in common at the moment. Okay, so that's not working. That's not. Oh yeah, it's working very well now. Okay, just to make a brief summary, I think we have talked about belief enough, not to, I don't want to get bored, the people, but just to make basically an emphasis on what we get with Khalifa. Khalifa is a survey that has gathered more than 6.
¿Otra vez?
What the hell?
Es allí.
Ah, okay.
No, es
Well,
el de ahí.
I will keep talking about this. That's marked. You have seen this slide, so you have in brain and hope. So the emphasis of Khalifa was to gather spectroscopic information in the optical wavelength range. For example, it was representative of the galaxies in the local universe. And in order to cover the full optical extension, whatever that means, in our concept of that, means that we gather information beyond 2.5 effective radian from at least 70 to 80% of the galaxies, and with enough spatial resolution to study the individual spectroscopic morphological features of the galaxies. So in this image that you can see, like I hope you will see later, you will see that the final Khalifa data cubes have enough spatial information to gather information, for example, from the central bulge, the bar, the spiral arms, and the components of the spiral arms. Of course, we don't resolve these two regions. We name these star-forming areas as H2 applications. So it's a study that we'll discuss later, where we demonstrate that when we name H2 applications correspond to 1 and 4 classical H2 regions with the image quality we have nowadays from ground-based imaging. So this what we have here is a small imaging. I would like to say that this is a Khalifa data cube, but it would not be true. And this is basically a retrospective. It's not convolving or making funny things. We just make the same wavelength ranges and we plot. Okay, well, we're going to switch that thing because if not, I'm going to get.
Que no conecten nada más.
And we see nothing on the data.
Aquí no tengan nada más conectado ahí. Sí. Porque si no.
Aquí no hay nada.
Que no conecten este tampoco, total. Que no conecten ese.
Ah, este es cargadura de batería.
No, ese, que no lo enciendan. ¿Qué quieren?
Si no pongan nada ahí, eso va a estar flotando total.
Pues funcionaba, ¿qué hay de nuevo?
No sé. Es que ya tiene un problema.
The light of the universe is coming.
Okay, so basically what I want to emphasize is that even in the new epoch of coming new unifused surveys with 1,000 or the order of 1,000 of galaxies, I think Khalifa is still providing with a lot of detailed information of the spatial result properties of galaxies. And this is our niche. No? I think the three major surveys that are going on, like Sami, Manga, and Khalifa, present complementary versions of views on the galaxies and the spatial result properties of galaxies. So the main emphasis of Khalifa is on the spatial result. The main emphasis of Sami is in the spectroscopic resolution, especially in the red part. And the main emphasis of Manga is the statistics of the largest specific number of galaxies. So I'm going to highlight a little about it. So in any case, both surveys provide with a panoramic view on the galaxy properties. Of course, in the case of Khalifa, what we emphasize is the ability of resolve ionization structure, for example, in the case of emission lines. And this is the emission lines map that you get for the bright emission lines, the intensity maps, the dispersion map, and the velocity map. And this is the HST image of this galaxy. In the weather frame we have also a lot of information of weak lines. And in many cases, when you analyze weak lines, when you get this noise, we have here 52 emission lines, intensity map, from oxygen 2, 3727, now I have to say, well, to sulfur 2, 6731. And I want you to look at this map here. This is 4363, and these plots that are there that correspond to the high intensity plots in the different emission lines. Of course, we don't have that emit detection for all the galaxies. It will be marvelous, but it's not the case. We have that detection by basically 5% of the galaxies in the sample, the ones with low metallicity, as it was clearly seen by Professor Sanchez this morning on discussion of the metallicities. But this is metallicity temperature indicator, that can be detected at some other galaxy. This is another example. And this is the kind of detections we get for 4363. So in many cases we have signal to noise enough to drive the electron temperature. In many cases it means 30 or 40. So it's the basically number of 30 or 40 galaxies, and then we have like 5 or 6 per galaxy. These allow us to create a new, an upgrade version of the T-based calibrators that was presented by Manu et al. In 2013, like one of the results. I think one of the most important results we get out of Khalifa is that basically we have detected ionized gas in all the galaxies. This is one possible representation of the Khalifa observed galaxy. If I put all the galaxies together, we see nothing. That's the intensity map of the V-band. And on top, there are contours corresponding to H alpha. Of course, you are not able to see this H alpha emission in all of them. But if I switch to the equivalent width of H alpha, where pinky means low equivalent width and bluish means high equivalent width, then you can identify, for example, the red sequence. There are galaxies where the ionized gas, if it's in general diffuse, it's filling all the optical extension of the galaxies, and they have, in some cases, a peak of intensity in the center associated with ABM, but what we have around most probably is associated with another ionization source, like we drove by a recent star formation, but in general what you have is most probably an association with CIVs. I recommend that in order to understand all the possible ionization sources in ATG galaxies, you see the poster by Gomez and collaborators and the 3 articles that he has published in the last 3 months. And of course, in the blue cloud, you have the typical quantum structure associated with star formation. Okay, so as it was clearly highlighted this morning by Lisa Clearly, the ionization conditions across galaxies change and change a lot. So you cannot say that the galaxy is already gathered, not young with the audience. Galaxies are not points, and if you remember the ionization conditions, they are not points at all. So you can find any kind of ionization because you have A galaxy like this one, that is retired and does not have an ABM, most probably this ionization gains Poseidon bees. But if you have a galaxy like this one, it's a spiral galaxy with a type 2 ABM in the center, then in the areas associated with star formation, that are these spiral arms, you have ionization coming from this star formation. In the very center, you have ionization coming from the ABM and around it, and then you have in the interarms and in the world ionization that may come, yeah, really? Even discounting? No, come on. Okay. Even coming from either what I was saying, either from Poseidon bees, or in some cases also detect shocks and so on. That was clearly highlighted as epidemic to say much more about. And of course, you can have finding objects like geysers. This was the first Khalifa article published where they detect this bipolar ionization that you go to UPTs is most probably associated with shocks. And of course, you have a kinematical decoupling between the velocity in the ionized gas and the stars. And that was recently revisited by our collaborators in manga. Okay? So again, the emphasis of Khalifa is in spatial result properties. This is the quad image quantity detected in continuum and H alpha for the case of the last data release, and therefore you can identify these different clamps and start to analyze what is the, for example, the abundance. If you make a detection of these clamps, these H2 regions or aggregations, we have like 9,000 of them. You can derive the ocean abundance gradients. And here, abundance gradients, I'm using only G anchor abundance gradients for consistency, but I'm not going to enter into the discussion of how we have to see that in the future, whenever we have the total agreement. It's a question of changing everything, and qualitatively things are not going to change. So one-to-one, we will detect these gradients that are known from the 92s. It's not the 1992 Villacostas collaborators, thousands of articles by Pasolini and collaborators, Piolini and collaborators, and indices about it. The point is that when you put all of them together, you have somehow like a common abundance gradient in all the galaxies that was recently revisited by Piolini and students. They named the benchmark, they named the common, it's basically the same kind of thing. And if you put all the abundance gradients together and normalize the effective radius, you have this very nice abundance gradient that goes from 0.5 to 2 effective gradient. Recently, Laura Santiago is going to present that results later, found that if you plot that versus the mass, between 0.5 and 2 effective gradient, you have the same gradient, and then as you increase in mass, you have a drop in the central part that was described before. It's simply that statistically is associated with this increase of mass, and you have this flattening in the outer part that we found, the same pattern we found independently of the calibrator. If everything matched pretty well, if all calibrators are T-based, if we were using photoionization calibrators, the numbers will change, but the result will be the same. So here, this is how it's compared for a single galaxy, different calibrators. This is how it's compared for all the galaxies slow of the abundance. Okay? So going fast, because I'm not having time, what happened if instead of using Khalifa, we use manga? In the case of manga, we're sampling the galaxies with different IFUs. This is a galaxy at resist 0.015, this is a galaxy at resist 0.06. This is a spiral galaxy. Of course, at the resolution of manga at that resist, you almost don't see the spiral arms, but you still are able to derive gradients. In the case of the lower result ones, they are more similar to Khalifa-like, and you can still see some of the structures. These images here are not simulated, they are reconstructed from the manga data cubes. Again, if you use different calibrators, you have almost one-to-one abundance comparisons. And again, you can repeat with manga, it's exactly the same result, but with manga. In here, there are 883 galaxies, all of them that have, the only criteria is to detect star forming regions in there. This is the common abundance gradient seen by manga. It's exactly the same we have found in Khalifa. And this is the same distribution of the by mass. And again, you have this common gradient and then a drop in the central part and flattening in the outer part. Are preliminary results. I still have to analyze it in a more careful way. If you try to see there is a chain of the abundance gradient, apart from the interacting galaxies, I have to take away the interacting galaxies because it's already known that the chloride disagree demonstrate that they get flatter. In all of them you have, distribution is pretty similar to the Gaussian, independent of the scarcity index of the mass of the galaxies is pretty much the same. So there's no big difference. Exactly the same result we have on Indonesia, but you may notice here that it's slightly flatter. Okay, and the why is slightly flatter? This we already predicted a long time ago. These galaxies correspond to that resid. It's a simulation at ATC 628 when we put in two resid beams. That was with a pixel of a spaxel of 1 second. Yeah, that's it. In the manga we have a spaxel of 0.5, so it's slightly better than that. But in any case, it's very comparable with what you see here. That's the continuum emission, and this is what you get in the gas. Of course, when you have this kind of degradation of the spatial resolution, you have a flattening effect from the original gradient, and you have something slightly flatter. The reason for that is that they're basically mixing not only the effect of the inclusion in the diffuse gas, is also the effect of the gradient convolving the gradient. So if you want to see that was already predicted, and the values match pretty well with the observations in Mass et al. 2040. So it's great result. We know that everything matches. We're happy. Okay, but of course we'll have great benefit if we could have observed that with an instrument like NEWS. No? So this is the image observation of the galaxy we explored recently. This is the census of H2 regions, and we have a gradient that is pretty much similar to the gradient that we have found in Califa in average. Yes, in the galaxy, everything matches pretty well. The benefit of this observation is that half of it, NEWS is limited by natural scene. It's not like the rest of us that are limited by how we sample the diffuse. And here we have half the point with a scene of 0.8, super magnitude resolution, and in here it looks crappy. It's a scene of 1.6, so it's still far better than what we are using. Yeah, I also entered in one. Yes, the final result, if you don't mind, when you have these abundance gradients, you can derive the abundance at a certain particular place in the galaxy. You can select to do in the center, like we are forced to do when you do with SOAN, with single fibers, or at a certain distance. We insist that it's better to use it at the effective value. The reason for that is that if there is a drop in the inner part associated with the mass of the galaxy, for the most massive galaxies, you're going to have more bulge, you may have not a good representation if you sample just the center, good representation of the total abundance. So when you do that, you can create the color of the abundance mass relation or Tremonti relation, and as you know, we are one of the oldest that don't find a secondary relation with the star formation rate. I keep insisting, when you include a secondary relation to any existing relation and the dispersion does not decrease, this relation is useless. You can cite Ockham in 1556, and this is the basic reason why we don't keep including a third, a fourth, a fifth, or whatever kind of thing. You just keep including, like in this case we have 500 galaxies. This is an update of the published results. If you keep including that, you end with the right polynomial function. You end with an RMS of 0, and it means nothing. Yes, and this is my latest like this last one because it's new, impressive. So, okay, what happened when you do that with Manda? So what I have done here is even less accurate than what I have done with Califa, because this curve here, I did the same. It's abundance gradients, the value of the one effective value, I plot with the mass. It looks that the dispersion is larger. It's not true if there are more galaxies, so I have to change the contour density in the next plot I will do, because then it's messy. And we have like a double of the number of galaxies. This line here is not fitting. This line here is the mass metallicity relation that we derive with Califa, just put on top of the values derived by Manga. Perfect matching. Now I subtract that and try to find a second correlation with the star formation rate. This is the distribution you have. The correlation coefficient is 0.26. Well, okay, maybe some statistician will say that this is enough for being a correlation. If a student of mine tell me that he has found a correlation of 0.26, I will say, well, you better read something about the statistics. And more important, this is the dispersion before and this is dispersion after taking account this secondary correlation with a slope of 0.0009. Okay? If you tell me that this is a significant decrease, well, then we live in a different world. So I explored again the FMR. I didn't find the second relation with the star formation rate with a total different sample. I may be totally wrong, and maybe I never publish that because I'm a bit worried about it. So, okay, summary, I think IFU surveys are unique to provide with a panoramic view of the properties of gas, in particular ionized gas. I think what we have found is that the oxygen abundance present a common. I say common because the dispersion is still large and may depend on secondary property that we have not found. Okay? We can reproduce the mass metallicity and the local relation of the mass metallicity, and I'm not going to say too much about it, have time. And again, I cannot reproduce the secondary relation with the star formation rate and so on.
Put in a couple of questions, or maybe Patricia, if you want to start getting ready. Daniel?
So maybe you said it, I didn't see it, but how does the metallicity gradient change with the different metallicity indicators?
The metallicity change with the different?
How does the metallicity gradient change if you switch to different metallicity indicators?
If the metallicity indicator, this is the metallicity gradient, using O3 and 2, this is the one we use. And this is R2, R23 for an isotope. This is O3, oxygen 3, nitrogen 2, and ONS. All the four are TA-best marked. If you use TA-best, the chain is negligible. Of course, if you use another one like photoionization modes, then you don't have only an offset, you have just a tilt. But again, if you consistently use the different ones published, like for example in security, you have a different value. So it's steeper, but consistent. Consistent, not consistent with this one, of course, because with organization models and TA will have an offset.
So that's very little difference, but is this consistent with what Lisa was saying this morning?
Totally. You can answer.
There seem to be larger variations.
No, it's a direct question to her. She can answer. I think we totally agree, conceptually speaking. Yeah.
Yeah. So what Sebastian's done is he's got calibrations all based on TE. Right. So that's the it's not the Donald Trump one, but it's the other one. And so they should all agree with each other. These ones should all agree with each other. Otherwise there'd be something wrong. So, yeah. But if you applied one of the other methods, there would be a systematic offset. But if you're doing relative analytics, like Sebastian was doing, it's not going to make that much difference. It's when you start applying absolute metalicities with theoretical simulations and trying to then infer some physical evolution properties about galaxies that then run into some of the I had a quick question, though, Sebastian. This is beautiful. I was really interested in your Muse data as well as the stuff you're doing with the apertures and the different ratios. So I'm wondering, with the coarser aperture, did you calculate 0.06? So did you calculate the relative contribution you get to a gradient, say, from the diffuse ionized gas, the gas?
Yes.
And
yes.
What is that?
Well, actually, I don't have all of the group, but I can tell you, it's everything what's in here is 2 years old article, and the gradient of articles has grown, so I cannot remember the number. But you go to the BBT diagram, and everything starts to get concentrated. You exactly to that. You start to increase apart from the resolution, the contribution of diffuse gas, and it's something that we have to take into account. I think that we cannot escape from that. We have to correct a posteriori. Yeah, it's written in there, so I can tell you the prescriptions.
Okay, one last quick one, Jacob.
I'm sure it's a quick one. I'm a bit worried, Sebastian, about this resolution type because the redshift 1 is going to be much larger. Can we correct for it? Can we explicitly turn an observation redshift 0.1 to an observation redshift 0.0, or do we have to do it the other way around? Is there any way to solve this problem?
Well, what we can do is to take a sample. We can actually, Jorge Iglesias is doing that, and he's having a lot of problems to make a mathematical formula to correct from that. It's really complicated, If the sample you want to correct spread a lot in residue. If the sample you want to correct has a higher residue but is a narrow range in residue, then it's rather simple. But if it's spread a lot in residue, then you have really complicated, because the only way is basically taking a sample that's at low residue and make what you have made that with the few gases before them, and you maybe that some kind of probabilistic or Bayesian way of correcting that.
Okay, I think we'll have to cut things off now. Let's thank Sebastian once again. Next of our invited speakers this afternoon is Patricia Sarah. I think we'll be talking about chemical evolution.
So actually, I'm going to talk about the history and how to use that to study evolution.